Good morning, Shabbat Shalom, I guess. So of course I'm in my bed in the hostel 10 Israel Guri Street. The room is completely like, I mean, still messed up after the ravage that happened while I wasn't here, and I don't I feel like I probably clean it today, but I need a few or more hours to rest. I can feel better after I've rested most of yesterday. I mean all of yesterday. Um, mm, It's really disgusting here, but I need to rest a little bit before I clean it. Tomorrow morning I need to go to the police to for an investigation. Nation Etzion. Hopefully everything will be arranged for the best. So very soon I will speak about the topics that are relevant to the last, I would say, outdoor excursion, which are first I'll repeat mostly verbatim, I would say, the story of the two mermaids, and with a little bit of analysis of my own. And also I'll speak about my pagan origins, specifically with regards to the Egyptian roots. There are also, the pagan origins that are related to the Greek Roman side. And this is actually something that I spoke about, but very, very briefly in the past. And I actually promised to speak about it some more, if you remember. It's one of the topics that I promised to speak about, but kind of like I was always reluctant kind of like to pursue in this direction. I call it like the son of the mother. The son of the mother theme or aspect of my own private mythology, as opposed to the son of the father. And as I've said, I myself, and I guess that most of my listeners are far more comfortable with the son of the father side of the story. It's true to me. First of all, above all, it's true to myself, and my assumption is that it's true to most of my audience, whether they are Muslims or Jews or Christians, or even if they are or if they are atheists but belong to cultures where these kind of religions are common, or even if my assumption, but maybe it's not the correct assumption, that this is also true to most other cultures that are, I don't know, like Buddhist or Hinduist or things like that. My assumption is that even they will, can find the son of the father side of my personal mythology is more palatable, but maybe I'm wrong. But there is also the other side, the side of the son of the mother. So yes, some people already guessed correctly that as part of this belongs to the cult of Orpheus, which is correct. Maybe I'll speak about it even more. No matter how much, you watch like the Israelis, humans in general, and Israel in particular, because I live in Israel, and you cannot understand it. Your mind fights with it. Your mind fights with it because it doesn't make sense. But this is reality. Like the audacity to arrest me again. After they've seen another sun in the sky. What are you doing, really? What's your problem? What's your problem? Like, what is this thing? What is this thing? Is this a joke? Like, I mean, if it's not obvious, maybe we should say the obvious. Just, I mean, physical, just basic science, like really, first class science, like really, I mean, like science for first grader or for second graders. Just, I mean, so we are clear. The sun does not only warms the earth and, I mean, lights the earth. I mean, these are effects. These are a very, very important effects. Without that, I mean, the earth would have been like a rock, like, I mean, a cold rock, like, I mean, frozen rock. But, I mean, these are effects. What, I mean, is actually happens, like the actually happening is radiation of all sorts. Now, there are many types of radiation, and I mean, humans know about it, like, I mean, there are several types of radiation. And the heat and the light, these are effects of, light itself can be characterized as a type of radiation, but this is as a wave, but this is actually, it is a classical, like, you know, discussion in science, like, I mean, in physics, and it might, and like, if humans would have been survived, which we will not, but if they survived, I mean, it's very possible that the perception of what is light would have been changed, like, in the future, because it was changed dramatically in the past several times. Actually, the question of what is light is a classical question in physics. But yes, I mean, one of the kind of, like, I mean, you know, light itself, I mean, in physics is also used, like, is used to be described as a type of radiation. Again, this is debatable and historically, and probably would have been changed if humans would survive. Would have been, they will not, but if they would. So there are all sorts of types of radiation that, I mean, that hit the earth, hit the earth, that, I mean, are generated by the sun. By the way, not only by the sun, but there is what you call cosmic radiation, which is radiation that is not produced by the sun, but still hits the earth. It's much weaker, but still it's considerable. I mean, it's considerable to a point that, I mean, in planets that are comparable to Earth but do not have the atmosphere and magnetosphere of Earth, the cosmic radiation is substantial enough to wipe all life. And this is also true to space itself. This is a critical point for space travel. I mean, mostly space travel is not really possible for humans. I mean, sorry, I mean, not that it should be your main concern right now. I mean, this is not the point to think about, like, your potential career as astronauts. This is the point to think about, will you be alive tomorrow? Mostly the answer is no. But I mean, just, I mean, from the theoretical perspective, humans are not suitable for space travel. It's something that they don't tell you much, like, because it's not nice to, I mean, because you don't like it, you like to be optimistic, but I do not give you any new information. I mean, it's a known topic that, I mean, the body of humans, I mean, for many reasons, but first of all, when you are in a spaceship, you are I mean, subject to radiation, for cosmic radiation, and you don't have atmosphere to protect you. And even if you have, like, a ship with very, very thick walls, you will still receive radiation if the journey is long. The journey might be short. I mean, if you can go to the moon, but I mean, if you want to go, like, to I mean, faraway destination, you need, like, time, and during this time you will get cancer and die. Like, the body of humans is not suitable for space travel. But really, I mean, it's really not a time, like, I mean, to consider your career as astronaut, which will not happen. I mean, yeah, I assure you, whoever you are. Anyway, the Earth has an atmosphere, which is, I mean, basically it's layers of matter that is above, like, the solid material of the planet. I mean, you live on the atmosphere. I mean, this is the atmosphere. This is part of the atmosphere. So all of this is like and magnetosphere, which is, I mean, a product of the magnetic core of the Earth that is, of course, rotating, and this blocks most of the, a lot of the radiation is blocked, actually, which is good, because otherwise there would be no life in Earth. But still, it should be said that if you're exposed to the sun a lot, you get cancer because of the radiation, not because of the heat and the light. The light in itself, is not a problem, and the heat, so you wear a hat, and you drink water, and this is, you can also get, dehydrated and get, makat chom, as they say in Hebrew, like heat exhaustion. But if you, you wear a hat, there are ways to protect yourself from the sun. But if the people that work, or just spend too much time in the sun, if just sunbathing in the beach, eventually they get cancer. This is a known issue. It wasn't a big deal in the past because humans tended to die before cancer killed them. But in our time, cancer is a leading cause of death. And much of it is done by radiation from the sun. Now, if you suddenly see 2 suns in the sky, or 3 suns, or 5 suns, and these suns, they emit radiation that is equivalent to the first one, because you can actually feel the warmth, like in the light. This is recorded in this YouTube channel, like in a video from 2 days ago, and I felt the warmth in my body, and it wasn't like a momentary, like an atomic bomb. It was for several hours that I was bathed like in the sun after it was so cold, and it was already evening. This is winter. And indeed, okay, it's Israel. It's not like, it's a warm country. So when I say cold and when I say like, gloomy, it's in Israeli standard. Admittedly, it's not like, in like Siberian standards. And of course, I wasn't like dressed like in Siberian standard. I only had like a thin t-shirt and a thin coat, very thin coat. If it was Siberian winter, I would have died like from hypothermia. But it was cold. For Israel, it was cold. It was a cold, gloomy day with winds and of course very wet because it was the beach, and suddenly it became very, very, very warm and like sunny, and it stayed like that for hours. Like it wasn't like a more like again a product of atomic explosion. Like it was something that kept like kept the same effect for hours. So naturally, what happened is that these bodies, however you want to conceptualize it, like extra suns, angels, starships, you can conceptualize it any way you want, but most certainly the physical effect was bombarding of the Earth with radiation. That part of it manifested itself as heat and light that you could see all around us, feel all around us. But in addition to the heat and the light, you don't need to be a physics professor to know that the place was bombarded by radiation that is equivalent to that of the sun. But instead of once, you were twice or thrice or 5 times. And the atmosphere of the Earth and magnetism of the Earth, they are not, intended by God to protect you from. They are intended to protect you from one sun, not from 4 suns. So unquestionably, all the places in Earth that were exposed to these new suns, and first of all, the place where I stayed, the place from which the video was recorded, was exposed to radiation. Were exposed to radiation that is like amazingly high. Like that of probably, I don't know how to estimate it, but certainly something in the something along the lines of continuous nuclear bomb detonation, but not like just a momentary, but throughout several hours, which is quite, I would say it's quite alarming. maybe not the best time to be outside, and maybe not the best time to play soldiers with your lovely Arab neighbors. Mm. Like, I mean, whatever, like, soldiers that, I mean, spend their time at that moment in Gaza Strip, I guess there should have been several, because, I mean, Ashkelon is just adjacent to, I mean, Ashkelon and Gaza are adjacent. I mean, look at them. If you refresh your memory, if you don't, like, just look at the map. I mean, they are just one, I mean, next to each other, Ashkelon and Gaza. I mean, it's I mean, famously, I mean, you know, from the Bible, it's all Ari Plishtim, like the Philistines, like, you know, the cities, like, you know, Ashkelon, I mean, Gaza, Ashkelon, Ashdod, from south to north. And what was the fourth one? I don't know. Wow. Maybe Gat, maybe? Anyway, there were many, I mean, several famous, like, you know, cities, like, of the sea people, you know. So they are right next to each other. So if they were soldiers, and I guess they were quite a bit, like, certainly if they were not undercover, like, what I mean cover, not is like, not like in the warfare terminology, but I mean like actual cover, like they need something above them. But even if they have, like, even if they have, like, you know, a simple shade is not enough. You're not even like a concrete, like, shade. I mean, you need to be. I mean, you need to be like inside, like a deep bunker, like, I mean, to protect yourself from such radiation. Anyway, these soldiers, I mean, were bombarded with radiation. Of course, everybody else in the Gaza Strip. Now, if they are Titans, never mind if they are Jewish Titans or Arab Titans, then okay, they are protected from radiation to a tremendous extent, more than humans, even though much less than I am, thankfully. But really thankfully, because otherwise, I mean, I would have, like, because I was just, I mean, sitting there, you know, watching the sun happily. I mean, the second one, and then the third and the fourth. But yes, I mean, I mean, not everybody has the same kind of, like, protection from radiation. And, of course, I mean, I am protected from that tremendously, and below me, but still somewhat protected, are Titans, and below them, but still somehow protected, I mean, are humans. But I mean, this somehow is, I mean, is not enough, like, I mean, for every situation. What I want to say is that, I mean, after all of that, I mean, to just arrest the person again while he's poor and helpless, and you know that, I mean, everybody's torturing him and stealing from him, and, you know, like you didn't steal enough from me, and again breaking into my room, taking the little stuff that I have, you know, the little food that I have. You know, what's your problem, humans, really? What's your problem?